Hi, it's Julie and welcome to another video. So today I'm finally going to be doing my August TBR. So I feel like I should probably already had this video up, but as you probably all know, I kind of took a break from booktube and yeah, I thought I'd get on with it, and it's better late than never. My TBR for this month is very big, considering I'm only just coming out of a reading slump. I'm considering I'm going to be working a lot of extra hours at work, and yeah, I don't think I'm gonna even get half of these books read, if I'm totally honest. But I'm not 100% sure what I'm in the mood for, which is probably why my TBR is so big, because I've kind of got a mixture of things in it. So yeah. I have 10 books that are on my TBR this month, not including my current read and also one audiobook that I'm listening to. But yeah, 10. So I'm feeling very ambitious. Here is the pile of books that I really would like to read this month but probably will not read. It's a huge pile of books. Probably not going to be reading half of them, but you know, I shall try. I would like to finish my current read, which is My One True North by Millie Johnson. So this is about two different people, both who have lost their significant other, and they both go to this little, almost like a group therapy session, but it's not like an official therapist. It's a little old lady who has this little cafe, and she loves helping people through grief. And so people from all different walks of grief will come to this little meeting every week, and they'll have tea and cake and they'll talk and things like this. So these two different people decide to go there. One's called Peter and one is called Laurie, I think. And they both decide to go and join on the same day, and they've both lost a significant other in recent months. But there are big massive secrets to be revealed about their partners who died, and they also start to develop feelings for each other through, I assume, these meetings. I'm not that far in, but that's the general synopsis that I got anyway. I will link this book and all the other books down below so you can read the actual synopsis. But this is basically a romance story that also deals with grief and lots of other different things, and I love those kinds of romance stories that have both the romance in it but real life stuff, and I really like stuff like that. I can just tell Millie Johnson is an absolutely amazing writer, and I'm very excited to read the rest of this. So this is the first book that I really do want to finish this month, obviously because I've already started it. So I'm sure I will do that. So next up we have the fourth book in the Mortal Instruments series, which is City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. So I recently, well, when I say recently I mean literally yesterday, finished the third book. I listened to these on audio, and I'm going to be listening to this on audio again this month. I just find it easier to get through these books this way. I just could not for the life of me physically read the first books, and ever since I've just listened to these on audio. I'm really excited for this one, simply because the title has the word angels in it, and I love angels. And I really enjoyed the third book, and yeah, I have high hopes for this one. Not looking forward to reading more Jace because he really annoys me to no end, but I'm still excited for this and to see what happens, because the way the third book ends kind of seemed like the story was almost over, but obviously there's a lot more about to happen because there's another however many books in this series. So I am really excited to read this and see what happens in the story and what happens to the characters, and I really love this cover and I love this colour as well. So yeah, this hopefully will definitely be read this month, we'll listen to. So if you haven't already either watched or gotten your July fairy leads and you don't want to be spoiled, then skip a minute or so ahead this next one, because this is July's fairy lead book that's next. So the book is Shielded by Kaylin Flanders, and I'm really excited for this one. So this is about a princess, I believe, nicknamed Jenna, and she basically is really highly trained by the sounds of it. She's really impressive and really good at fighting, and she wants to be a part of this battle that's happening between her kingdom and their enemy. But her father has other plans for her, and he decides to arrange a marriage between her and a neighbouring kingdom, so she's going to marry that kingdom's prince. And she is the second heir, and she has no powers, but her brother, the firstborn, has these powers apparently. And I think this is the main reason why her father does not allow her to fight in the kingdom's battle. and on her way to the kingdom of the prince she is now going to marry, she is ambushed, and the enemy that they thought they knew is way deadlier than they ever could have comprehended. And it basically ends in a synopsis with her revealing a secret that could either bring peace or destroy everything. I'm guessing personally that she also has powers and she's more powerful than anyone, which I really hope is the case, because I love those kinds of stories. But that's just my guess. Well, that's kind of basically what it's about. I love the sounds of this. I hope there's some kind of romance in here, because I love a bit of romance in my YA fantasy stories. But this sounds amazing and I really do want to read it. I've seen this for a while and it was on my Amazon wishlist, so I'm quite glad that I've got a copy, and I'm really hoping that I can get to it this month. Next up is a book that I did actually start in July, but for some reason, well, I know the reason why, I put it down because I was so pissed off at one of the main characters, and I was just like, no, I don't want to read it. I want to know what happens, but I'm also really angry. And then I just started reading something else, and then I kind of went into a slump again and then just didn't read it. But I really want to, because I'm absolutely loving this series. So this is the final book in the Folk of the Air trilogy by Holly Black. We all know who Holly Black is. She is the Queen of Fairies, as people say, except for Sarah J Maas. And yeah, this is the final book, Queen of Nothing. I only read like 20 pages, I think. Yeah, I'm 24 apparently, so I'll just start reading it from the beginning again. Just the end of The Wicked King, like, I'm still fuming over it now. So it just made me so mad. I just don't understand Cardan. Like, are you okay, Cardan? Like, why did you do Jude that way? Why? But yeah, anyway, so I really am excited to see what happens in this one. I really want to get to this as soon as possible, really. Like, I'm really excited to read it. It's quite short anyways. It's only 300 pages, so it's not long at all, so I'm pretty sure I will get to it this month. But I'm going to be sad to finish the series. But there is a new book out from Cardan's perspective, I believe, in a couple of months, so yeah, I'm excited for that too. But yeah, this one is the one that's on my TBR, and I should hopefully read it this month, and hopefully Cardan redeems himself. So yeah, and look how pretty the cover is. It's beautiful. Of course, I had to add in a graphic novel. I haven't read a graphic novel quite a while. I thought it was about time I added another one on. I do want to read SOCAIL Volume 3. I have got it at work, I just haven't picked it up yet. But I don't know when I'll pick that up. So I want to add this one to my August TBR. So I think this has been on one of my other TBRs, but I honestly can't remember at this point. This is one of the DC Inc. graphic novels, which is graphic novels specifically for young adult readers, and this is Under the Moon, a Catwoman Tale by Lauren Myrickle. I always say that wrong. Hoping to read it this month, but this is obviously just following 15-year-old Selena rather than Catwoman. It's more like Catgirl. I'm not going to go into details what it's about, but it's basically about her as a teenager, so I'm really excited to read it. I really love the cover of this as well. This is illustrated by Isaac Goodhart, so just in case you wanted to know. But yeah, I'm hoping to get to this month. This next book is actually featured in my romance book haul, which I don't think will be up by the time this video goes up, so I'm not going to give you a massive talk through of the synopsis. You can go to that video whenever it's up and find out about that, or click the link in the description. But this one is a romance novel, and this is set in Cornwall. I'm on a Cornwall hype right now because I recently went. I'm obsessed with Cornwall now. I want to live there one day, and I will. And the only way I can live my life, my Cornish life that I wish I was really living, is through these books. So I've added this to my August TBR to be the blues. And this is Summer at the Cornish Cafe by Philippa Ashley. So Philippa Ashley is quite a well-known and predominant romance author. Her books are very popular. She's written quite a lot of books, most of them set in Cornwall. I've never actually read a Philippa Ashley book before, but I have bought a lot of them in my romance haul, which you will see. This follows a girl called Demi who lives in a village in Cornwall, and she's a waitress, and her summer's very boring. She doesn't think it's going to get exciting, and then she meets this guy called Cal who's moved back there to try and renovate a holiday resort that he owns, and she somehow persuades him to let her help him do it, and they start to fall for each other. That's pretty much the gist of it, except for Carl has some issues from his past which are kind of preventing him from falling in love properly, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, you can go and watch my other video when it's up. If you're watching this when it is up, then go and watch that video. If not, click the link in the description for this book and you can read the proper synopsis there. But this is basically one of those really cliche cutesy romancy books, and it's set in Cornwall, so this needs to go on my TBR for this month because I miss Cornwall so much. I just want to be there every second of the day, so this will hopefully help. Next is another book that is in my romance haul, and this is one that's very, very popular at the moment. Probably a lot of people have already read it. It's still new, but it's not really new. And this is If I Never Met You by Mahari McFarlane. I really hope I said that right. I did talk about this book in that haul as well, so again, same for the other book, you can head there if you want to, or the link in the description. But this is about a woman called Laurie, and she is dumped by her partner of 18 years randomly, and this is obviously very devastating for her. You know, she's at a loss. She's spent 18 years with this guy and he's just suddenly dumped her out of nowhere. But not only that, she also has to work with this guy in the office, so very humiliating for her because she's now got to face him every single day, and obviously that's going to be very painful. She gets stuck in a lift with a handsome colleague called Jamie, and they hatch this plan to pretend to be together in order to kind of get revenge, and they start to fall for each other. So it's that kind of cliche fake dating turns to real dating kind of story, which we all love. I mean, it's a guilty pleasure. I absolutely love those stories. I'm a sucker for them. I cannot wait to read this. I'm very, very excited for it, and I feel like I just need this kind of story in my life right now, and it is very popular, so it would be nice to finally read it and see what the hype is about this book. Next we have another romancy book, which is kind of a similar thing, I believe. I can't remember. I talked about this book a while ago. I've put it on multiple TBRs and still not read it, and I have talked about before how Meg at Pride and Fiction has done a vlog reading this book. Again, I will link it down below, and you should definitely go and watch it and subscribe to her channel. But she did a review, I think, as well at the end of the video. I can't remember because it was a while ago that I watched it, but she really, really loved this book, and I do really, really want to read it. It's just I've not been in the mood for romance until now. This follows a girl called Becca who's never had a boyfriend, and she pretends that she's been secretly seeing someone to her friend when her friend's teasing her for it one day. Then we have our other main character, Brett. He's captain of the football team, but he's never dated anyone. He's never been interested in it because he's so focused on his goals and football, and all his friends and family and so on are all getting at him because he's not dating anyone. Like, why isn't he? He's a teenage boy, he's captain of the football team. He then overhears Becca's lie and he decides to step in and pretend to be that mystery guy. But they soon find out that fake dating leads to a lot more, and they have a lot more in common than they thought, and feelings start to grow. So again, we have another fake dating to real dating kind of story. Again, guilty pleasure. I am so excited for this book, especially because of how much Meg loved it, and again, let's hope this time I actually do read it because it has been on my TBR a lot. So hopefully now is the time that I finally do pick this book up. Next up is a book that I'm not entirely excited about. It's just one that I really want to get out of the way and read, but I am also a tiny bit excited. That doesn't really make sense. Basically, it is the third book in a series. I read the first and second book ages ago, so I really do hope that I remember what happened, but to be honest, the second book was so irrelevant and so unnecessary that I don't think it would matter if I didn't remember what happened in that book. So I'm going to read over the first book again before I start this, just so I remember everything. This is the third book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo, and this is Ruin and Rising. I really want to read this because I do want to know what happens. I want to know how it all comes together and how it concludes. I just really dislike Mal. He is just, I've got no words for him. Yeah, not a fan of Mal. I'm not really a fan of this series, to be honest. Alina, our main character, is incredibly annoying. All she does is constantly remind us of who she is, and I just didn't really enjoy the second book, so it did put me off this one. However, multiple people have told me that the second book is the weakest in the trilogy and it's not very good, but the first and third book are, because I did really enjoy the first book. A lot of people have said this one is amazing, so I am hoping that's the case. I'm just very apprehensive about it, and I've put it off for so long because of how much I didn't enjoy the second book. So yeah, I really do hope that I do enjoy this if I do get to it, because the first book was really fun. It's just, I'm not crazy about the main characters. I don't feel invested in any of the characters in this story at all, so that doesn't help. But I know a lot of people love this series, and the Netflix series comes out soon, so I really do want to finish this, and I really need to. So hopefully this month is maybe the time I finally get to it, but who knows, maybe I'll just get stage fright and not read it again. Maybe, maybe not, we'll see. Next up is another Leigh Bardugo book, and this is her adult book. This is Ninth House. I haven't got the dust jacket on right now, but everyone and their nan knows what this book is about. So this is kind of like a dark academia, paranormally thriller kind of vibe to it. I think I've talked about this in a vlog. I've talked about this in multiple videos probably, what it's about. So I'm not really going to say anything else about it, except for it's about a girl who goes to Yale and she has to help something to do with this secret society and there's monsters and a murder and stuff, and that's pretty much all I know. I can remember I have read the synopsis multiple times in videos, and I'm sure you all either already know what this book is about or you will have it everywhere. It's been on my TBR since the start of the year. I still have not read it. I really don't know why. I just haven't been in the mood for it, but maybe that will change this month. I'm going to continue to add this to my TBR every single month until I do read it, because I really do need to read it, because the hype is so real for this book, and I probably will really enjoy it when I do read it, because it's my kind of book. But yeah, Ninth House is on the TBR again. Then lastly is another romancy-ish book, which is a very popular one that several people recommended to me when I asked for romance recommendations. I have looked at it a few times and just for some reason never picked it up, but now I've ended up with 2 copies and I just feel like I have to read it now. So that is The Flat Shirt by Beth O'Leary. You probably already know what this is about. Everyone does. Most people have read this book. This is about 2 people who share a flat called Tiffy and Leon. They share a bed but they've never met each other, so I think one's like works nights, one works day, so they literally just never bump into each other. And as far as I can guess, they do eventually, or sort of, start to have some form of communication and start to get to know each other, and I think they then start to fall for each other. That's pretty much all I know about this book. I really want to read it because it does sound like my cup of tea. It sounds very different, and the reviews for this are insane. Like, everyone loves this book, and I sell it a lot in work, and I'd like to be able to read it, to be able to talk to people about it more. So I would like to get to it this month. It depends really, because I've got so many romance books on my TBR this month. I don't know if I'll want to read that many romance books, but I would like to read this because it's very popular. So yeah, maybe I'll get to this one this month, but who knows. So that wraps up all the books for my August TBR. My TBRs always change every single month. I never really stick to them, so I don't even know why I bother doing these videos. But you know, I'm still coming out of a slump, so I thought it might have been a good idea to actually have a TBR with a variety of books in, and maybe I'll actually get some reading done. So yeah, I have a lot of work on this month, so I don't really know how much reading I'll get done, but hopefully I read at least 1 book. I mean, I'm 1 book away from my reading goal now, so I feel a bit more relaxed that I don't have to read as much. But if I want to get back into booktube, I obviously need books to talk about that I've read, so it would help if I actually read something. But that is my TBR at the moment. They're the ones that I feel like I really want to read. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please do give it a big thumbs up, and if you want to, then subscribe. If you have read any of these books, then let me know your thoughts down below without any spoilers, please. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye!